Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Through the Cowl. After the last two podcasts we've done where we had guests, it's now back to just me and Debbie. So it's just the two of us. Just the two of us.
The
Ah,
original duo.
yeah.
We hope we will be enough for you.
Yeah. Well, it's been fun having the guests, really bulked up the episodes and sort of like getting to know other people sort of thing and what they're doing. It was like fun to have Kibla, which was good. That was a good one. And
Mhm.
having
Yeah.
having
They were
David,
both brilliant.
yeah, and having David as well. He just like had a lot of stories, and it was good to like find out about him. And I like the fact that with the pod that we can actually talk about what's happening in people's lives as well as the geek stuff, which was
Yeah. And
really
obviously, my sister literally watches every episode the minute that you send me the link, I send it to her.
yeah,
And yeah, she was like, oh my God, they were such good guests, really nice people, loads of cool stuff. So yeah.
yeah,
Hopefully everybody else enjoyed it as well.
yeah. So I'm looking forward to having more guests in the future. But as for today, it's just us, and you've been
Oh,
okay?
yes, I have. Thank you. Yeah. I've started the couch to 5K again.
Yeah. How's that going?
Yeah. I mean, I think we could good. No, good. I did it a couple of years ago. Might have even been pre-COVID. So quite a long time ago. And I don't enjoy running. I'm not built, I do not have a runner's physique.
Yeah.
Nobody that runs professionally is built like me, right? But I like the competition with myself, like proving that my body can handle it. And it's such a good program for anybody that hasn't done it or that hates running. Honestly, as an absolute zero runner,
Yeah.
it's so good at making you believe that you can do it.
So are you sort of like running around the block at the moment, or sort of
I
like,
do it on a treadmill. I don't
yeah,
like to go out in public.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because I get more anxious about it. I'll be really self-conscious
yeah,
and I don't want that to mess with, how I'm doing.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, so I've got a really cool little treadmill. And actually it's so good because when I watch telly, I'm
yeah,
so distracted. So when I am running, even though I count my breaths, it does
yeah,
tell
yeah,
you to, I find certainly when it'll get to the longer runs, if
yeah.
I'm focusing on what I'm watching, I'm not thinking that,
Uh,
oh my God, I got
That's
six
that's
minutes
that's
left.
really a good idea because a lot of the sort of newer sort of treadmills and bikes that come out also always have a screen in them, and they it makes a good distraction, especially if it's the ones that like connect around the world and you're doing
Yeah.
different things. So yeah, definitely distraction helps, especially when you're doing like when you're new to
Yes.
a certain type of event, especially if it's endurance.
Yeah,
Unless you're like
exactly. And it's
Unless you're David Goggins who can just like run with no music and do all that sort of stuff and just focus on the road or
like
whatever he's doing, which I
psycho.
can't.
No, me neither. And so it was week 3, run 1. So that was running 3 minutes.
Yeah,
And I know it sounds like no time at all, but when all you're worried about is not being able to do it, you're like, oh yeah,
yeah,
like at the end. And then it just helps push you on, obviously, for the next one. So rest night tonight, because that was yesterday, podcast night.
yeah.
And then yes,
Oh,
run.
amazing. Oh, just keep going, and that's like David was saying last week, next thing you know, you're doing 10K, you didn't realize.
Yeah, and I've been really good with my food. Not like crazy. I'm not into like weighing stuff,
No,
counting stuff, macro shit.
no.
I know what's healthy to eat and I know what is. And so I'm just being a little bit more fresh, more raw, like with my
Yeah, yeah.
food.
Yeah, because
Uh,
obviously I did bodybuilding for years. I've never weighed out food ever.
yeah, yeah. So
And
I
even
don't ever want to be that obsessive about it
yeah,
ever because I just don't. Because to me, that is as much of a disorder as somebody with an actual
yeah,
eating disorder. Like nobody should have to be weighing out different types of fucking
rice
protein,
or
fiber, and carbs. And
yeah,
come on, how is that? No.
yeah.
And great for whoever it works for, but I know that would not work for me. I'd become obsessive with it. So,
Yeah, for
um,
me as a trainer by trade, like it is all about the proportions. It's all about the activity level, and
portion size.
Portion size, yes, obviously. And but then also some people I train, they fast for like
Yeah,
16 hours.
yeah. I
But
try
then
on days that I'm, yeah, that's certainly what I tried. I don't think it made a massive difference for me.
yeah. And
I
then
think it was the type of food
yeah, that's the thing. And inside that break fast, it depends on what you have in that portion.
in it. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely keep going. And at the moment, most times we have dinner like we swapped in and out, but we've done HelloFresh for a while now.
I love HelloFresh. I've skipped a few weeks because I found now that I've saved all my favorite recipes and
Yeah,
I know the sauces off by heart, and
yeah, yeah,
so I can just chuck a whole load of veg and chickpeas and lentils and stuff in and I'm good to go.
yeah,
But it really got me back into it.
yeah. HelloFresh, if you ever decide to sponsor us, she didn't just say that. She only does those recipes when she has the boxes from you. Yeah. So HelloFresh, if you are listening, yes, we do use your products, and we will never
Love
cook
it.
your food without using your boxes.
I actually quite like that they do send it in like an
Yeah,
eight
yeah,
and not on your phone where you got to like.
yeah. All
So
right.
thank you. You?
I've been good actually. Like I said, just been running around, work and stuff. Just been what have I been doing? Yeah, just running around the kids really, and just we're going on holiday soon.
Oh, where you off?
So I've been tweaking my training a little bit just to make sure, at my
Oh gosh.
yeah, at my current age that I'm not seen as the exact. I'm a dad, but no one knows that sees the dad bod.
I mean, I've only seen you clothed for
Yeah.
God knows how many years, but I'm pretty sure you haven't got that. It's probably genetically impossible for you to
I hope so. But then my eldest stepdaughter, her boyfriend's coming. He's only 19, so just in case we're ever like caught next to each other, I just want people to be like make sure that there is no like disparity where it's just like, oh my God, look at that old man next to this.
I reckon you've still got bigger guns than he has, and I've never been guns, so I'm
Yeah,
sure you'll be fine.
it's true, but just psychologically for myself, I just need to know that I can still compete with these youngsters.
Hold it. Where are you off to?
We're going to Tenerife.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so we can Tenerife with the majority of the kids. So it's going to be hopefully just get
Hectic.
maybe
Zero
get a bit
relax.
maybe a tiny bit of relaxing.
Although some of your kids are old enough to look after your littlest ones, if you guys did want
Yeah,
a nice dinner together or
that
something.
that that is true. That is true. So hopefully, they're feeling generous and they'll do that.
Yeah, at least once a
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Considering we're paying for the damn thing.
Yes. Oh, I miss that. I
Yeah.
miss parents paying.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So, top three. So we've had some absolute bangers over the last few weeks, and some have stumped me big time. Like say like last week, the Tom Cruise one that had me in a
That
chokehold.
probably had our biggest number of mentions, I
Yeah,
reckon,
yeah,
didn't it? Yeah.
yeah. I think we spent a good maybe percentage 35-40 minutes just on Tom Cruise. That's a record. You know, what else? Denzel Washington week was a tough one.
Yeah.
Um, Morgan Freeman wasn't too bad. The Tom Hanks week was pretty tough as well.
Yes. Yeah. Lots and lots of good ones there.
Yeah, I think it helps when a few of the actors have like some films that we put in like the golden category.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of helps and like eliminates.
Yeah. Gives us like not a fake top three, but at least it enables us to get a few more in.
Yeah. But this time I couldn't think of anything to put in like say like the diamond or gold category with this
I
actor.
know what you mean. I absolutely love him, and we discussed before how much my mum adores him.
Yeah.
Um, I think for him, I think for Keanu, that his good
We're doing
ones.
Keanu this week, by the way,
Oh,
everyone.
I didn't. Okay, yeah. So we have my sister's friend Lisa
Yeah,
to thank
yeah,
for Keanu Reeves, and who, might I add, when my sister told her about our last podcast, and she said it was Tom Cruise, she also loved Tropic Thunder. So just
yeah.
putting that out there for
Tropic Thunder,
note. Um, but
the,
yes, we've got
the
Lisa.
best.
But I think Keanu Reeves, his good ones are so good. I've actually struggled to put them in any type of order.
Yeah,
The other ones, although probably don't score very highly on IMDb,
yeah,
but they're still maybe a bit of childhood, or they're
yeah,
still, I still like them. So yeah.
yeah. Keanu is a special type of actor, but you just love him as a, obviously we don't know him personally, but everything you find out about him on a personal level just make him sound even better.
Oh my God. A, he's beautiful.
Yeah,
B, doesn't know it, which makes
yeah,
him even more
yeah,
beautiful looking. But as like he's had so much sadness. And I know we've all had sad things happen in our
yeah, yeah,
lives, but he has had a lot of sadness. Um, and he just seems so normal,
yeah.
like
That-
so humble and normal.
And you see like pictures of him like riding the subway and stuff like that. Just like
Yeah.
you hear
There's
stories of him being
so
super
much
generous.
charity. Like he's got a lovely lady that he's been with forever.
Yeah. He didn't run off into that super Hollywood like sort of life. He's never run off in that super Hollywood lifestyle. He's
No,
just been Keanu, the actor.
that quote I found, my God, he looks so cute in that quote as
Yeah.
well. So I can't remember. Oh, it was this Instagram thingy
Yeah.
called Publicity, which I'm sure loads of people follow.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
tons of followers. Yeah, and the quote was, I'm at that stage in life where I stay out of discussions. Even if you said 1 + 1 = 5, you're right, have fun.
Yeah.
And
It just makes sense.
attitude though is so cool, like never wanting to be one up on somebody. There's no competition and fight, you just,
Yeah.
I think he genuinely just wants to be happy and
Yeah.
live his life as nicely as he can. And I
Yeah.
think for a celebrity, that's quite rare. Like
It's
he
quite
doesn't
rare.
want the limelight, does he?
Yeah, and there's never any like scandals or any dirt you can find on him, which is great
No.
as well. So like he's like the ultimate. He's the ultimate movie star. They want the recognition for their work. They want obviously the perks that come with being celebrity, but they still also want to have their like personal life. And he seemed to have been able to keep that
Yeah,
balance perfectly.
totally. We love him.
Yeah. So plus he loves motorcycles. So,
He does.
so that bumps him up even more in my estimations. All right. So top three Keanu Reeves. We do have a few honorable mentions.
We
I found
do.
this very tough in regards to where to put certain movies.
I know.
Some people may scream at me and be like, how could you not put that in that position? But I had to go with the ones that I can definitely watch week after week.
Yeah, I'm picking number of times I've watched them because that means I absolutely love them.
Yeah.
I love his character in all of these. So he's the full main character. Well,
Yeah.
yes, shares the main character in one of them.
Okay.
Main character in the other two. One,
Okay.
I'm not sure how many people will have seen.
All right.
I actually want them all to be my number one. So
Yeah.
I don't,
That would help. Because if I
if I
move
just
all
say
my
my first number one and then say my second number one and my third number one, but they're all equal.
yeah.
Can I do that?
We could give that a shot, but it might break our rules completely. But
Okay. Okay, let me get started. So Fave is a series of
okay.
movies.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing fighting scenes. He's
Okay. Are you gonna say my number one?
Oh, okay. So no, I won't then because this is my number one. I will save that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let me do another one.
Are you gonna do so have you got all number ones, yeah? Or or do you have a 3, 2, 1?
No. So I won't say that one if you have that one. So my other two
Yeah.
My first one, because again, I don't think you'll know the other one, so that one's safe.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so my number one, number one,
Yeah.
is with my other one of my other most favoritist actors ever.
Yeah.
So this is Point Break.
Point Break. That was actually in my honorable mentions. Yeah. That is one film. All right. It was a brilliant film. It was super well made.
Amazing.
It kind of gives me the vibe that back then that's like the original sort of triple X / Fast and Furious. That's like, I feel like that's the blueprint.
Dude, absolutely. So I love Patrick Swayze, right?
Yeah.
I always have done. The guy was incredible. I'm gutted that he's no longer with us. Like, he is a fantastic man, actor, dancer, martial artist. Loved him, and he loved cats. So.
Yeah.
But loved Keanu's character in it.
Yeah.
Loved their relationship in it. Love the whole surfer thing, love the whole gangster thing. Oh,
it's
detectives,
one of those ones,
yeah.
It's one of those ones where, like I said, even like it was like the early sort of Fast and Furious where they would like blurred the lines of when someone goes undercover, where they enjoy the life of the so-called bad guy that much that they kind of forget what line they walk on.
Yeah, well, it was Bodhi, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Patrick's character that just swayed him, because actually he was like, oh, he's a good guy and he stands for this, and I like his surfing life morals, even though he's a killer.
Yeah.
Because they did kill people in their bank robberies. They weren't just robbers, they did kill people. So
so it's kind of like, I know you hate remakes, but I'm not gonna lie, the remake of Point Break was pretty good.
No, never watched it, never will. You can remove that comment.
Okay. Okay.
No.
All right. I don't know why they keep touching Patrick Swayze movies, but for some reason,
leave him alone. All of his films were great.
And like I said to you the other day, I sent the clip to you that they're gonna try and remake like Ghost, and that was a bit like, again,
just
leave it alone.
Stop.
Especially Patrick Swayze's sort of softer stuff. Leave that alone.
Yeah. Ghost was lovely.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, the special effects would be shit today, but the story is lovely.
Yeah.
Everything about it there's no point in redoing it. It hit so perfectly the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, like Point Break, I will not be watching a remake of Ghost.
Okay. All right. My number 3. This was tough to get into number 3. It was tough to get past my number 4 and 5. Okay. But the reason why I put it in here is because it is what a lot of films in that sort of genre could be like if they had the budget and a good director. So this film is 47 Ronin.
Yes.
All right. It had the mystics. It had the magic. It had the monsters. It worked perfectly well. It had a great story.
Yeah.
So many films I've seen that could pick bits from it and use it, but they haven't had the budget and the direction. So like the films like the old Mortal Kombat films.
Mm-hmm.
The new ones are pretty good, but like the old ones could have picked from that and be like, okay, this is how you bring monsters in. This is how you do the action scenes, sort of thing. Or even like the first sort of Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Mm-hmm.
The same sort of thing.
He doesn't love a samurai.
That's why certain films need, if they're gonna do them, spend the money, get the director, get the right CGI guys in, and just get a good writer, and you could have made certain things perfect. But 47 Ronin for me was perfect. I loved it.
I love an avenging movie.
Yeah.
Story. I love any type of, avenge the death of your, leader or your master or something.
Yeah.
They have a nice moral kind of even if it's wrong, I still
Yeah.
like the fact that they stand for something. They have a code that they live by.
You know, and then obviously the guy, the main guy, the other main guy was it Hiroyoki, the guy from
Mhm.
Shogun, and obviously he's in John Wick 4. Yeah, but you know, yeah.
I'm glad that we did just confirm that, because I was like, oh, I wonder if he meant the other one. And I'm like, no, good. He did mean that one.
Yeah.
No, yes, definitely, definitely.
So yeah, 47 Ronin for me is my number 3. It creeped in just above one of my honorable mentions, which was tough for it to be there. But
Mhm.
if I watched 47 Ronin now, I could watch it every month. So that
Yeah.
they made it in there. All right.
Nice. Okay.
So your
So my
number
number
2, so I can
two,
run
which
through the
is
one.
also still one of my number ones,
Yeah.
because we're going to have the same number one.
Yeah.
So my number 2, sports movie. You know me.
Yeah.
I love a sports movie. And this was, it was quite a while ago, but it's got a really good cast.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore his character in it, and his like sad but then awesome kind of story arc.
Okay.
And it is called The
The
Replacements.
Replacements. Yeah, that was in my honorable mentions.
Have you heard
Great.
of it?
Yeah, great movie.
Ah, it's literally me and my sister that I know that have watched it.
Really? That's a great
Fucking
movie.
love it, mate. I could watch it. Yeah, I don't think any of my friends, none of my friends have watched it.
You got Gene Hackman's in it. I'm
Yeah.
You've got a young John Favreau,
Oh, there's so many. Yeah, Orlando Jones,
Orlando Jones as well. So for me, like with that film, I feel like
Troy
it was,
Winbush. I wouldn't have known his name without having
yeah,
looked at him.
I feel like they made
Reese
that. Was it?
Iphens. I don't know how you say his surname.
Yeah, did that
So
come out at the
many
same
famous people.
time? Did that come out at the similar time to Any Given Sunday?
So Replacements was in 2000.
Yeah,
Let's have a look.
Any Given Sunday was 98, was it? Or
Oh,
99?
I typed too many things in. Any given, yes, 1999. So just, oh my God, Al Pacino looks really young there.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Some good cast though.
so
Dennis Quaid, Cameron Diaz in that one
oh, the
too.
most
Yes.
amazing cast.
Replacement.
So I feel like the replacements sort of took a lot of pieces from Any Given Sunday and then really made it
Yeah,
work.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so it was almost like the rejects from Any Given Sunday went on to do,
But it was fun, right? It was
yeah,
so fun. It was this lovely. So there's a pro-American football strike. They get in the replacements just to keep people going there.
yeah,
Everyone's hating it, but you get such a good group together that were all like experts that could be put into
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
position with American football. I mean, you could know more.
yeah, yeah,
You've
yeah, yeah.
played American football. And then they do so well. Then they bring the bloody
Pros
other
back,
ones back. They quit the strike and they're doing so well to play in the bloody final or whatever.
yeah,
Oh, and then when Gene Hackman says to Cameron, he's like, when they're like, what does this team need? And he's like, they need heart. And
yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
No, it was yeah. The Replacements is a great movie. So very
Love it.
very good watch. You can watch it like yeah. Again, you can watch that
I've
whenever,
seen it a million times
and if you
and
know,
I love it every single time.
it's a real feel good movie.
Yeah, when they're picking on Keanu, so when the main
Flipping
guy, the
his car
main
over.
quarterback,
Yeah,
picking, yeah, and the big black guys come and they're like,
yeah. What's going on? They start
oh, I
shooting.
love
They start
it.
shooting at the.
Yeah, and then they're so protective of him. It's really cute.
Yeah, it's like again another
Yeah,
football film,
love it,
like in
mate.
The Longest Yard, when the Adam Sandler's character starts getting people to come around. You know what I mean? And they're starting to like him, and then everyone just backs him up.
Mm,
It's that sort of like redemption story.
yeah,
Yeah, so definitely a
just
great
wish like
film.
brilliant film. I'm so glad you've seen it.
Yeah. All right, my number 2. So okay, so some people may be like, the ones that I left out, they'll be like, and you put this in at number 2, but
We don't follow the crowd.
yeah, exactly. My number 2, I just remember watching. I have it on VHS, and I could watch it over and over again. It has one of my biggest crushes of my life in it as well. Um, Speed.
Yeah. Oh, I love Sandra Bullock.
Yeah,
Yes, obviously in my honorable mentions.
yes,
Such a good film.
yeah. Oh man, Dennis Hopper is chilling in it. The fact that
Yeah,
they
he
kept
was creepy
the fact that they kept the film so it was contained, which meant contained
and
to
it
a
was
bus.
tense.
Yeah, only certain people, certain actors, and certain casts can get away with doing like a contained movie, like so say like Phone Booth or like what's the other one where he's locked in is it locked in a coffin or something like that?
In a coffin?
I think there's
Oh, what, trying to get out? Like buried alive or something?
yeah, there's a few films where they're in like contained in a small space, or even like the first, well, you haven't seen it, Saw, but
And the Tom Hardy one we talked about where he's in the car on like the
yeah,
M1 or something.
yeah, that
Yeah.
one, yeah, that one. So it's like for them to pull off this film, pretty much 85% of the film on a bus, or maybe say 90% of the film on a bus,
Yeah.
was fantastic. I love the
Yeah.
story. I love them trying to
Intense.
I love them trying to outsmart him.
And he just didn't care. As a
No,
baddie, he was very good. He
yeah,
literally didn't care, did he? Yeah, he was very ruthless.
I think I remember watching that back in I can't remember when it came out. It must have been
Let's have a look.
90. Okay, going through my head Rolodex, maybe 92,
Oh, close. 94.
94. Yeah, yeah. So I was
94.
94. Yeah, so I was 10.
Oh,
So I must have saw it maybe the year after when it came out on video VHS. So yeah, but yeah, since then I love that film.
I was in year 10.
Yeah, I bloody
Seems-
yeah, I bloody love that film. Like even like
Yeah, it was great.
when they're trying to get the driver off the bus after the guy goes mad and shoots the driver, and he's like, just let me get one guy off the bus, and then the scene that the bus can't drop below, and he's got to go underneath to find the other explosive underneath the bus, and
Yeah.
starts bouncing from side to side.
And they were young and fresh, the two of them, weren't they? Like Sandra and Keanu, kind of,
Yeah. Oh yeah. What a movie. So yeah, for me, Speed number two.
Nice. Okay, so I think we've got the same number one, number one.
I think we do now. Now I know. Jonathan.
Wick.
Yeah. Yes. As a
Gotta
club,
be
as a conglomerate, John Wick, number one.
number
What
one.
a
And
set.
it's still number one, even though the puppy dies.
Yeah.
It's still number one.
Yeah. What a set of movies that I would say, have got better as they've gone along, which is tough because the first one was so good and so
So
gripping.
good. I
Number
love all
two,
of them. I've watched
yeah,
all of them. I even went to the cinema like 4 or 5 times
yeah,
to watch each of them
yeah,
with somebody different. I was like, have you not seen it? Oh, I'll go.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. To get to number four and still have people like wanting to go and watch a movie is a testament.
Yeah. Oh, the fighting is just so brilliant.
Yeah, so smooth, so slick. His his
Oh,
his his hand-to-hand combat skills are like
yeah. It makes
insane.
up for whatever little dialogue people are like, oh, he doesn't
Yeah,
say much. I'm like, he doesn't need to.
yeah.
And I
His
love the dogs. Was that in number three?
number three. Yep, those
Love
are
the dogs, mate. Halle Berry.
what.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
the German
balls.
Malinois.
Never
Those
seen
fight
anything
those
like
fight
it.
scenes. I've never seen anything like that.
No.
Where in the middle of a gunfight, she just and the dog will run and just take
Oh,
someone.
incredible. Literally up a wall.
Yeah, like who
They were
like
fantastic.
the stunt coordinator who came up with that, and obviously the dog trainer as well. It's just just they hopefully they got raises that after that because
They got an extra bonio.
yeah, what's some scenes even like the second one. There's a motorbike chase scene, and when they're all like chasing him down on his motorbike, I'm like, oh look at this, and then they all whip their swords out their swords at the same time, and he ended up like taking them all out, and he's riding the horse.
Oh, and his beautiful car, mate. Come
Yeah,
on.
and
And then he gets wrecked, then he gets it fixed, then he has to wreck it
yeah,
again.
yeah.
You're just like, oh man.
Even like his
So
slick
cool. And I
suits.
love how they think of him.
Yeah, like his
What
slick
do they call him?
suits. The
Boy,
Baba Yaga.
yeah, yeah.
The Baba Yaga.
Man.
The
Love
boogeyman.
it. It's like he's renowned, you
Yeah.
know?
It's
And I
not
love
what
that
you.
he loves his wife and he
Yeah,
doesn't just mess around with anybody, even
yeah.
though she's gone, he's still like,
It's not
loves
what
her.
you did. It's who you did it to. Who is it?
Oh, because that guy
Um,
passed, didn't he? The hotel owner, the front
oh
of
yeah, yeah,
house
yeah,
man.
yeah. What's his name?
Oh,
His name is Lance Reddick.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was really
So
sad.
yeah, Chiron, and like they gave him a decent send off. I don't know if they. It's weird how they managed to shoot his scene in the number four, and then obviously
I wonder if they just used it maybe from outtakes and stuff, or
I think it was definitely.
digitally did it.
I think they did it part of it. Like it was too. It's too unless they made a CGI version of him, but they could have.
How that goes, yeah.
Yeah, they could have. You never know. But that was a pretty sad scene.
Yeah. He
You
was
know.
wonderful.
Oh yeah,
A,
it was
looked
great.
after his dog, and B,
Yeah,
again, so moral.
yeah,
Again, I know there's baddies in there, but he had a code and he
yeah.
stuck to it.
Their fight scene at the end of number three when they protect the Continental.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you're
that's
hoping nothing
storyteller, isn't
bad
it?
happens to
Yeah.
them, and he's just like they come back, they go out, they kill a bunch of people, come back in to reload, and and it's so smooth.
Oh,
And
I love it.
Winston's just sat in there like just chilling, letting them do all the work for him.
Yeah, and then they have to do their little thumb things with the blood
Yeah,
to
yeah,
prove that they're owed, and then the
yeah,
debt's paid, and all that sort of like old school,
yeah. Cutting the thing,
gentleman handshake kind of bullshit.
cutting his finger off and all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
and then going after the head, going after the head of the table and stuff like that was.
Oh, I love him. Literally love him. And then the stairs scene when he's got to the
Oh
stairs.
my
Oh, it's
God.
like
How long are those stairs?
every time I'm like, he's got
Yeah.
keeps rolling back
Rolling
down.
back down the.
He's like, fuck's sake.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and what's his name? The guy Donnie Yen. Oh, his some of his fight scenes in the last one where he's the blind guy,
Mm.
and it's just like, what in the daredevil is going on here?
Yeah, because it's not even like, it's just like, I love their gunfights, right?
Yeah,
They're so cool. Because often it's not all the little guns, but often there is a lot of littler ones. And
yeah,
then you've got the martial arts fighting that they do, like hand to hand.
yeah,
And then you've got his expertise with like knives,
yeah,
and then anything else he can find in the room.
yeah.
Like, oh, I just love it.
And it's always like the lighting in some of the scenes where he's in rooms full of glass or he's in rooms full of like
Mm.
different things, and the way the light just bounces off the objects and stuff like that. And then when he's shooting, it's just what a series of movies.
So good. I absolutely love them. And I like how they, ended it. I think
Yeah,
it was really good. The right way to do it,
yeah.
you know.
And those suits, I want his suits. Not that I'm
Yes,
gonna I'm
good.
looking to get any gunfire, but I
But
I
it's
would,
just in case.
just in case I would like those suits.
A lot of knife crime in London.
Yeah, I know. All
Oh,
right.
he's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm
we
happy with
agree on
that.
number one. But okay, here we go with honorable mentions. All right.
Okay, because there's one we
Now,
haven't mentioned, which I think a lot of people will be like, "What?"
screaming. Yeah.
Matrix.
Matrix.
It was
So
my
I'm
number
gonna
four.
I'm gonna say Matrix 1 to 3.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I think for me, I did not understand the Matrix when I watched it,
Yeah.
right? I could not get my head around it, however dumb that makes me. And it took me a long time and different explanations from people for me to kind of get it.
Yeah.
And so it's not a film, it's not movies that I've watched over and over again, even though
Yeah.
I totally get his character, her character,
Yeah.
Lawrence Fishbone's Bones
Yeah.
character. Like, I
Morbius.
get how massive they are.
Morpheus, sorry, Morpheus. I was thinking.
Morpheus, sorry, thank you. Yeah, Morpheus.
Yeah.
I get it, but I don't watch them all the time.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't make my
I enjoyed them. Like I even had like the PlayStation games, and I played them for hours, just going to bullet time, like just fighting. I loved the Matrix games. I really enjoyed those movies, but they just couldn't fit on my list in that top three.
Yeah, I think from the first one, because I hate how they just keep coming. They
Yeah.
just keep coming. And I'm like, stop. Just leave him alone.
Mr. Anderson.
Oh, yes. I think it makes me a bit frustrated, which is
Yeah.
silly because,
No,
um,
definitely a great series of movies.
yeah.
Um, really set up his career at that point.
Yeah. I
You know,
mean, that coat.
obviously he was well on his way anyway, but that was, that
Mm,
was a defining series of movies.
yeah. And
So
that coat is iconic.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know how many
She did
kids?
banging. If you were ever going to have like leather trousers and a white top,
Yeah, yeah,
think she, I would think of her if anybody
yeah,
fancied
yeah. All right. I also had Constantine. Now, Constantine
me.
was very high up on my list. It was tough not to get that in as number three. But I
Oh,
had to look.
okay.
But the only reason I didn't put it in there is because I like the TV show of Constantine so much.
Yes. Yeah, I enjoy that.
I think I think obviously there's talk that he might do Constantine again, which
Okay.
obviously I love Keanu, but I think the guy who did the TV show should have that role.
Keep
He
it
played it
going. Yeah.
perfectly.
Yeah.
And the fact they only gave him one season made me feel sick.
Stick to my stomach.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why.
I don't know why.
Because
I
I
don't
think it was really, I thought it was really popular.
yeah, I don't know if it because the fan base was like I want to say it's like how you get those things that like you have a sort of cult following. So
Yeah.
maybe because they didn't think that it sort of spread out to the wider audience enough.
I wonder if it was because it was a time when there was a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
And actually, if it had been at a different time, more
Yeah.
people might have watched it. And then it would, I don't know.
I think if they
I think,
re-released it again and put it on like a Netflix or something like that,
hmm,
then I think they'll get a better response. They'll see how much it was enjoyed. I
hmm,
think when the time it came out, it was like streaming was sort of like just breaking through as the thing that everyone done. And I think
yeah.
they probably brought it out at a time where, why is no one oh, we haven't got the numbers on this episode.
Yeah. No one's watching it live. Well, nobody does
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. So
You know,
I think that may have been the problem. They didn't have the numbers and
yeah.
they wanted to see them. So yeah, but yeah, for me, Constantine was a great film. He was really good in it. Dejimon Hounsou was great in it as well.
I love him.
Papa Midnight. Yeah.
Um,
So
I had Devil's Advocate had to
yeah,
be in there, I think. Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
And what you know what that was a I'm surprised you watch it because it does have its horror elements, but it's more of a horror thriller.
Yes, yeah.
And Charlize Theron looks so young in it.
Oh, I love her as a grown-up.
Yeah. And no, I think yeah, Devil's Advocate, it was a great thriller. Like
Yeah,
you saw how the character, like even like Seven, the thing about the sins,
yeah.
and you could see that this guy wanted to win no matter what. And obviously, when you think about like lawyers, they could know that their client's guilty, but they're
But
getting
they'd
paid.
have to do everything to prove otherwise if
Yeah,
that's what they're on.
yeah,
Yeah.
and get some reasonable doubt.
Hmm.
So obviously in the end of the movie, he I don't he made amends
Hmm.
if that was him in the end.
Was.
If it was him. But yeah,
Yes. Did you have
definitely
any
got
others?
Point Point Break, and then I had
Have you watched Chain Reaction?
Chain Reaction.
Not a high scorer, but
No, we spoke about that on Morgan Freeman week.
we did. Yes.
Yeah.
Hardball.
No, and I had Bill and Ted.
Oh my God, I didn't. I
Yeah.
totally forgot. Okay, yes, that absolutely has to be. Maybe the originals. I don't know if I ended up watching their crazy one when they were older or not.
I did see that as well. Yeah, the thing about
Yeah.
Bill and Ted, the
Is
reason why
it
I didn't
funny
watch it,
still?
not as funny, but it actually it has its moments. It reminds me of it has elements of the film Free Guy.
Okay, yes, yeah.
Yes, there's a few scenes where they have multiple universal versions of themselves, which is quite funny. But Yeah, Bill and Ted for me, it's not in the top three. It's not going to be. It's one
I
that
don't
I'll
watch it
watch.
now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one that I'll watch if it was on, if it's on. But you have to be like, you don't have to have much. You shouldn't have much going on when you see it.
Yeah.
But
I had one last one.
yeah,
I'm not normally a big on like period dramas, right? But
yeah,
it is a cracking film from a very well-known book. It's been done many a time.
yeah.
Much Ado About Nothing.
Okay.
So romantic comedy. He plays Don Juan. They all look banging. The cast is incredible, mate. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's really
Yeah,
good. You've got Kenneth Branagh, Emma Thompson, obviously Keanu, Kate Beckinsale. You've got who's the other guy? Brian Blessed. You've got Denzel Washington. You've got Keaton. Like
yeah.
an incredible
Yeah, it's a
cast.
huge cast.
Brilliant cast, mate. It was quite old. When was it done? 1993. But honestly, check it out if you've got
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
Sunday afternoon. Really, really good.
Yeah, there's a bunch of films that when I was going through his IDMB and stuff like that, that you didn't realize that he was in. So I feel like some of them I need to go back and just see if I can spot him.
Yeah,
Was he apparently he was in the film Poetic Justice? I was like, really? I do not remember seeing him
really? I
at all.
wouldn't have thought of him for that.
Yeah. And then there was like Dracula 1992. I was like, don't remember seeing him in that.
Oh,
Oh,
I believe when I was
Johnny
talking,
Mnemonic was a good, actually an all right film.
Johnny Mnemonic.
That was actually all right, actually.
It was. Why didn't I see that when I was looking? I thought I went pretty far through my scroll.
Hardball. I think that's the one where he was the coach for the kids.
Yes, that's what I said because you know me,
Yeah.
I love a sports movie.
Yeah, there's a bunch of films that he's probably in, and like,
I
yeah,
think there's one that my sister said he's a baddie.
okay,
Like he's actually really horrible. Um, Possibly like, you know, domestic violence horrible.
okay, hmm.
And I had no idea. And again, she is probably screaming it at the thingy, and I'll ask her later. But
Yeah,
I could be wrong. I'm sure it was him. She said, because I was like, oh yeah, I don't think he's ever been. She's like, oh no, he has been in one.
yeah.
So
And
yeah,
apparently, there's one that came out in 2016 that I haven't seen. It's got Jason Momoa in it. It's called The Bad Batch. So it's a horror
oh,
apparently.
I've not heard of that either.
So let me screenshot that. I'm gonna watch that. It's on Netflix. The
Nice.
Bad Batch, 2016.
Oh, bit of Keanu and a bit of Momoa.
Yeah, so it's
Not bad.
Keanu, Momoa, Jim Carrey.
Oh, what in a horror?
Yeah,
Hmm,
Suki Waterson,
interesting.
Diego Luna, Giovanna Ribisi as well.
Nice.
Okay, I'm watching that. All right, so this wraps up Keanu Reeves top three. Please let us know what your top three Keanu Reeves movies are. We would love to know. But yeah, that was a tough one for us. That was
That
tough.
was tough. Yeah. I still believe mine are all number one
Yeah, yeah.
alongside each other.
Yeah. All right. So what have you been watching this week?
So, I have watched two movies.
Yeah,
One was called Hitman
I've heard
on
about this. Apparently it's supposed to be really good.
Netflix. Yeah, with the cocky guy from the new Top Gun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the one who doesn't get picked to go with him, but then saves them at the
Yeah.
end. Um, Really good fun.
Yeah.
Like really, he is brilliant in it. It's obviously like a comedy.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't say romantic comedy, but that he is romantic with the girl, with the one of the characters. But um, like a hit, like it's obviously called Hitman, but he pretends to be a hitman in
Okay.
order to catch people in the act. So he's like volunteer working for the police, whereas he's actually like a like college, not college, like high
Okay.
school student teacher,
All
and
right.
he's so like vanilla.
Yeah.
But when he pretends to be a different hit person, depending on the what they
Situation.
know about who's hiring them,
Yeah.
he changes like his character and his appearance and how he
Okay.
comes across, and he's so good.
Okay. Yeah. I definitely want to check that out.
Really good fun, really good fun. And then I watched Challengers.
Okay, yeah, the new one
Oh,
with
Zendaya.
Zendaya, yeah.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
So again, watching the trailer, I don't know. I kind of thought it would be more about you seeing like she's with these two people at the
Yeah.
same time.
Hmm.
It jumps around from when they first met, what happened to her, where
Mm.
she is now, who she's with, where she
Yeah.
goes off to, where the guys are, who's playing tennis, who isn't. And it's more about the nature of competitive people
Okay.
and how they have something that other people don't have,
All right.
and how um magnetic that is for them in somebody else.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
That.
really very enjoyable to watch because it was quite different.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I only saw clips for it. I'm things with Zendaya. I kind of struggle to watch her movies because I think they are very much tailored to her being the main star, and the way the stories tend to work out is just like I think you get a bit lost with some of the stuff that she does.
Yeah, so she shares this with the other two men, the other
Yeah.
two main characters. So she's not the only one, and you won't necessarily like her in it.
Mm.
She doesn't do everything right.
Yeah.
Um, but just a very good look into how sports people and competitive people can
Yeah.
be. Yeah. Yeah, quite interesting.
Okay. All right. What have I seen? This film I'm gonna talk about first. I maybe shouldn't have seen it after the one I'm going to talk about next, but I realize that I cannot watch films with this guy in.
Oh,
The film I watched was Fall Guy. I don't know why. I just cannot deal with Ryan Gosling.
you don't like him?
No,
Oh,
terrible. He gives me hope that I could be an actor.
even though he was supposed to be quite wooden in this, I
He's
feel.
wooden in everything. Like Keanu Reeves is wooden. This guy, like I think he thinks he's a face actor, but he doesn't realize he hasn't told his face.
I haven't seen it actually. It did look funny. It did look
There are
funny.
some funny moments, but it's definitely a love story with sprinkles of
Like a silly love story, though. I feel like it
yeah.
is like a silly film.
There's a lot of like narration in it, and like they're trying to. It's like two people who clearly want to be together had an issue, and but they're just using other elements to distract the situation of them just potentially just
Yeah.
getting back together. And some of the action scenes are cool, but yeah, I don't know. He just does not work for me. See, Barbie was cool because it wasn't about him. He was just there. And there
Yes.
was a bunch of
Yeah.
bunch of other Kens, so he could have been swapped in and out quite easily. But yeah, Fall Guy for
And he
me,
was
like
quite animated in
in
as Ken at least.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
So obviously they said I'm sure when they picked the cast for Ken, they said who can we get who could play like a doll, plastic male doll. Doesn't have to do much, just say a few words here and there. Oh yeah, Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, maybe he got more on like his looks and his body, like to begin
Yeah.
with. There's that film of where he's like Emma Stone's girlfriend and he's works for the guy from The Office, the American
Oh yeah,
Office.
that film's pretty funny though.
Brilliant film.
Yeah, but
Brilliant.
that's obviously Steve Carell like making that film, and
Fantastic.
obviously
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
that film was pretty good. Like again,
yeah,
but
yeah.
he's
And
not
that in Drive, was it Drive? He was
Drive.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah, really good film, like quite an artsy
yeah,
film. Again, he barely says anything, but it kind of worked for him.
yeah. It worked for him,
Wonder if,
but it could have been done by you know a,
yeah,
a tree or
you really don't. Oh, it's funny.
or like a mannequin or something. You know.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So the next film I watched, Debs, when I tell you, a film like this is what you go to the cinema for.
Oh,
You want a film to invoke so many emotions in you. You want to be able to laugh. You want to be able to be like, have to hold your breath in moments. You want to be able to like, when you exhale, you're like, oh my God. Like, you know what I mean? You want it to give you like, you want to leave that cinema like buzzing and talking about it. Like,
yeah, chatting about it the whole way
can't
home.
get it out of your head. The film for me, Bad Boys 4.
Oh, I was supposed to go at the weekend and we
Yeah.
didn't.
Debs, this film
Oh, is it good?
is brilliant.
Oh, amazing. Okay, we're gonna go this weekend instead.
Yeah. The chemistry between Marcus and Mike, or Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, is spot
Mike
on.
Lowry, he's so
Mike
funny.
Lowry,
I
yeah.
love him.
Like the performance from them two is fantastic. The action scenes are great,
Really
unbelievable.
good.
Like, you know,
And his son, like, are they
yes,
with
yeah,
before?
his
Is
son's
he before?
yeah, his son was in it again. You know, the bad guys are always so slick.
Mm,
You know, it worked really well. Like they don't like, you know, each time they've done bad guys in it, you know what the bad guys are about. You know that, they are narcotics cops. You know it's going to be about narcotics. But
yeah,
they've really worked each time from number one, as technology has got better, they've really worked that in.
yeah.
You know, they've looked around at
Uh,
other films being made, and they've improved. The car chase scenes, the fight scenes, the way people fight. Where back in the day it was like it was normal punches and kicks and stuff like that. Then they adopted it now to the more martial arts MMA style and stuff like
yeah.
that. Which is amazing to me because you know how much I love MMA. But after Bad Boys 3, that film, I've said it before, that film actually made me cry like twice in the cinema. Simply because one, it does make you think about your mortality a little bit because you could tell that in Bad Boys
Yeah.
3 they're getting older.
And I like that they're embracing it.
Yeah,
Certainly Mike does.
yeah. You could tell they're getting older, they're slowing down, and they weave it in really well. And obviously Bad Boys 3, obviously most people probably seen it. You better have seen it. Mike gets shot and there's a scene in the hospital where he's recovering and Marcus is in there and he's shaving his gray beard, he's doing all those sort of things, and that it was really touch and go at that time.
Yeah.
Loads of times Marcus was saying he wants to retire and all that sort of, and it just makes me think because
Just
Bad Boys
chilling in
work.
his foldy chair, like,
Yeah,
oh, this is my life every day from now on.
yeah. And like Bad Boys 1, they were super young, fresh and stuff like that. And I remember seeing that as one of my favorite films. And then Bad Boys 2 was even more slick. I was sort of like maybe late teens, early 20s when that came out. I loved the soundtrack. I loved the
Yeah.
Ferrari. The scenes in like Cuba and all that stuff were great. Then number 3 hit almost 17 years after Bad Boys 2.
Yeah.
And it really made me think, oh crap, I am getting old.
I liked it though. Like
Yeah,
Mike was chunkier and
yeah,
because he wasn't as fit and he didn't do the things he used to do. And it's harder when you're older.
yeah. So I think it made me think about my mortality in it as well. And I think that's why it sort of made me cry at parts when like, Mike was hurt and like obviously when the captain got killed.
Oh, don't. That was awful. I
Yeah.
love that guy.
Yeah. So Captain Howard, when he got shot in the way he died as well. And it was kind of like, oh man, like, is this the end? Is this how they finish it off? But
Yeah, because it made Mike feel not invincible.
yeah,
It really shook him when he
yeah,
got shot himself.
yeah.
So yeah.
So and then they brought this one out. Now, if this is the end of Bad Boys, I'll be happy because I know not everything gives, life isn't always happy endings and stuff like that. But if this is the way they end it, I'd be cool because it
Yeah.
it gave me a
Can be
nice,
more happy than sad though, can't it?
yeah, it gave
A
me a
little
nice,
sad.
it gave me a nice even keel of like, yeah, they're older, but they could still do it if they
Still
needed
kick
to.
ass. Yeah, yeah.
And Debs, let me tell you, there is one scene in this film. All right. Like I said, when you want to go to the cinema, you want something to invoke emotion in you. There's one scene in this film, one scene in this movie where everyone in the cinema reacted at the same time. It was held breath for like almost 5 minutes. It was like exhaling at the same time. You could hear people saying "holy shit" or "oh shit" at the same time.
Amazing. I
And
bet that's why he went and sat in the cinema. Did you see him
yeah,
on
yeah, yeah,
see anything on Instagram? And they were like, "Oh my god, you were in there with us."
yeah. And yeah, this scene, Debs, I'm telling you, when you hear people cheering at the same time, it couldn't like you couldn't even contain it at one of these scenes.
Oh, I should have gone last weekend because then the eye sense might have been like really full.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, for me, Bad Boys 4, I need to go see it again. It was just, if it is the ending, it was perfect.
Okay, nice, nice.
You
Yeah,
know,
I'm definitely gonna watch it.
if they do go one more, I'm a bit skeptical of how they could do it because they could
Yeah.
because they could end up watering down the perfection of what they've just created.
Yeah, and I think you want a satisfying end, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
certainly do. Even if it was, say, John Wick, right?
yeah,
Even though it was sad, it was still satisfying.
yeah,
And it kind of had to happen, like,
yeah.
you know. So,
So like again, if they go to number five and John Wick, if they go to number five with Bad Boys, it's got to be the right story and
yeah.
it's got to make sense. And like at the end of the film, again, everyone holds their breath a little bit and then erupts with laughter at the end.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And it was just perfect. And I've been crowing
Oh,
about the person who made this film extra special for the last few days. And you got to see it because this character really comes into his own. And after all the films where you first introduced him in one of the movies, and then now he's at this point of his career, just fantastic.
oh, okay.
Bad Boys 4 for me is probably the best film I've seen this year. So I'm waiting to see if Deadpool and Wolverine can maybe
Yeah, it
get
does
up
sound
there.
like a nice blockbuster,
Yeah,
fun
this is a
Saturday
blockbuster.
night, big screen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a blockbuster. For me, Bad Boys 4 really helped. I really say helped my heart after Bad Boys 3 because I was in a bad way after watching that.
Helped you heal
Leaving,
a little bit.
yeah, leaving this one, I did feel emotional because it's like so many emotions ran through me throughout this movie. And it was just great to have these two back on the screen from like I said, Bad Boys original was just
Oh, it was a very good
I
film.
wanted to be Mike. Heck, I would have been Mark as well in
Yeah.
that.
Like if you were thinking of someone who wore like chinos or jeans,
Yeah,
again, a white vest and then like a shirt
yeah,
open.
yeah,
I mean, it just looks so right on him, doesn't
yeah,
it? Even if he is a bit of an, you know,
yeah.
yeah.
But it works for him, and it's just yeah, what a movie. From start to finish, you are completely locked in.
Oh, I can look forward to that even more now then.
Yeah. So, let's move on to screenshots.
Yeah.
So the first one we'll do one I sent you. We'll do the one that you sent afterwards because that one could have a bit of discussion. The first one, the one I sent you was the from 80s movies on Facebook, and
Yeah.
it's 1985. You look to see what's out. Which movie are you going to see first? So the options were Back to the Future, The Goonies, Red Sonja from Conan,
This
um,
sounds like some type of Russian.
Return to Oz, St. Elmo's Fire, A View to Kill, the James Bond one with Roger Moore, Chevy Chase's Fletch, Sylvester Stallone's Rambo, Clint Eastwood, Tightrope, or Jack Nicholson and Kathleen Turner, Prisoner. And then one of my favorites is Cocoon.
Cocoon.
So obviously I was only one at the time. So it'd been I can't say which
And even
one.
I was only young in the
Yeah.
80s. and I'm pretty sure I don't know, apart from Goonies, I'm not sure many of them would have been.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I watched them like 5-10 years later, right?
Yeah.
But
Let's just say we were of age at the time, because obviously we've
yeah,
not seen most of these anyway. Which one would you have gone to see first?
probably either Goonies or Back to the Future for me,
Yeah.
for the age.
Yeah.
Then slightly older, I would have gone St. Elmo's Fire and Cocoon.
Yeah. I'd say for me, I would go with ah, obviously as I got older, I think I didn't really get into like muscles till I was about 8 when I was watching wrestling and stuff like that. So obviously I was thinking like, Sylvester Stallone, Rambo. But I'd
Oh
say
yeah.
and Arnie, because they, to me back when I was 8, when I started watching wrestling and stuff, that's when I started feeling, oh my gosh, I need to become jacked like that. I was watching Hulk Hogan with 24-inch pythons, and I was like there with my like 3-inch arms. I was like, oh.
I
I'm taking my
understand.
bite-ins. I'm saying my prayers.
I understand Clint Eastwood,
Yeah.
right? And actually a brilliant director as well now.
Yes.
But
Oh,
I never
amazing
really
director now.
watched his movies, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen a couple of them in, and
Yeah.
probably, yeah, maybe one or two of the most famous, and then one or two of the more recent ones where he's a bit older.
I think I would go with at the time. I think I'll go with Back to the Future.
Yeah. Return to Oz, me and my sister watched a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I did watch James Bond, but again, wouldn't have necessarily
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
my first choice.
No.
Yeah.
If I was obviously, if I was a bit older, if I was just thinking, I'd probably say Goonies would be right there, and obviously early teens, definitely Cocoon. I really enjoyed Cocoon.
Oh, it was so beautiful, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Like, I think at first I was a bit scared
It was a
because
bit. It was a
it
bit
was a bit,
creepy. It was a bit
yeah,
creepy.
yeah, for a kid, like outer
Yeah.
space and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But it was lovely. It was a lovely story.
And I
So
remember watching it with my grandparents, and I was just like, oh, imagine if they were like, you know, they said, all right, well, we're gonna go where we can kind of live forever, and it's like, oh, what? Yeah.
they do it here.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll go Back to the Future.
Okay, I'll go Goonies as my first choice.
All right. So the next one you sent me, which was a tough one,
I
and it
think
was
it's quite good though.
yeah, saddest television deaths ever, and
It's cool.
it gave us 10 to 4, and then obviously we had to pick 3 above that. So
Well, the number 5 is probably my number 1. So
okay,
yeah.
I haven't finished Sons of Anarchy yet, and I have never seen Orange is the New Black.
Oh my God, Sons of Anarchy is incredible. Mate, you will
Yeah,
be in love with Charlie Hunman if you're
yeah,
not
yeah,
already so. But
yeah.
yeah,
I watched a
OP's
couple
death,
episodes. Yeah,
it's best mate, OP's death,
yeah,
horrific. It's not even that you really saw it so much. So
yeah,
it wasn't like it was the fact that he sacrificed himself.
yeah,
So Jax, Charlie Hunnam's,
yeah,
character was going to do it. And then OP was like, nah, man, I love you too much. And you were like,
yeah,
because OP was so lovely. Like, although he was part of the gang, he didn't do like the bad stuff. Like,
yeah,
he kind of got out of it.
yeah.
Oh, heartbreaking, mate.
Yeah,
I
and
cried.
Supernatural I haven't seen, which they had number 10. Eddard Stark, and Game of Thrones. I've seen that one. That was a tough one. Bobby
Yeah.
Newby, Stranger Things. I can.
Oh, yeah, Bob.
Yeah,
That was sad. That
yeah,
was sad. Yeah, I did feel for him. But again, sacrificed himself, didn't he?
yeah,
Like a lovely person.
yeah. Bob was fantastic. Just turned out to be a little hero. Old Samwise Gamgee.
Yeah.
And
Have you had any that have made you like super upset?
yes. So the deaths that got me. Now I had to sort of like trying to get them in. I had obviously I said to you like having to go over them, sort of brought back memories. I'm like, oh man, that the show didn't go. That the end of the show for me was like, oh. So number three, I did have a Game of Thrones one in there. That was the Red Wedding, but like that is what it is. I think with
And a million people died.
yeah, exactly. So you kind of like
There is one
after,
Game of Thrones that makes that I think a lot of people spoke about. Hodor. I
oh
think a
yeah.
lot of people
Oh no.
struggled with that a little bit. That
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
sad. Yeah. Because you learn where it
How
came
like
from
why?
as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna leave out the Game of Thrones ones, and oh, geez, I've got four of them.
Okay.
All right. So let me put my number. I'll put my number four, even though we don't need it. Was Glenn in Walking Dead.
1000%. Yeah. Do you know what? It was so hard for me, right? Because I knew he was going to die because I'd already read the comics
Yeah, yeah,
and I hadn't said anything to my sister. And like a few weeks before or something, she was like, "Oh, Glenn's like my favoriteest character," and I was like,
yeah,
"God, I don't want to spoil it.
yeah.
She's going to be so devastated." But I didn't want to take away from the experience.
Yeah, yeah. And boy, and what experience it was.
Oh man, horrific.
Yeah,
Everybody at work was talking about it the
yeah,
next day.
yeah, yeah. So yeah. Everyone was talking about Denzel. I didn't realize how so many
Everybody
people
was
watched the
talking
show.
about it.
All right, so that'll be like my sort of number four.
Okay.
My number three, as a program I used to watch when I was in my teens. I used to love
Yeah.
this program. It was Sopranos,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was a scene where Tony Soprano, his nephew Christopher, was like, a bit of a degenerate. He was lovable character. Obviously, it's gangsters. There's only so much you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
like what gangsters do. But in regards to how he was to the story, there was a lot. He was like a father figure. Tony was like a father figure to Chris, but Chris kept fucking up. And in the end, because of his drugs and stuff like that, Tony had enough. Chris had an accident, and Tony's had enough, and he suffocated him. And you could tell that it was breaking his heart to do that, but he had to yeah, he put him down.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was a tough scene, especially this is after they had to put down Chris's partner as well at one point because she was an informant for the feds. Yeah,
Bugger.
yeah. So that was a tough one. My I don't know how to put these two. All right, this second one was Jonathan Kent in Smallville. Um,
Dad?
yeah, so Clark
Yeah.
Kent's dad, Jonathan, yeah, in
Yeah.
Smallville, his death scene was not expecting that at all. Where he's gone to like have a go at Lionel Luther,
Mm-hmm.
and as he's walked away, he ends up collapsing and having like a heart attack, and then
Oh.
he dies in the arms of Martha and Clark.
Okay, so you've got the thing that at least he was with the people he loved the
Yeah,
most when it
yeah,
happened,
yeah.
but
It's one of those ones where luckily Clark is the Boy Scout. Could you imagine if Bruce Wayne was a grown man when his father had a heart attack in front of him because of having an argument with his enemy's dad? Could you could you imagine? The absolute vicious beating that would have taken place afterwards. So,
Yeah.
so that could only happen to Superman, Clark Kent,
Yeah.
to experience that. Obviously, he could fly off and like punch a mountain or something, or like fly through a planet. But yeah, in regards to like what he would do to his enemy at the time, it would be like he would have sucked it in. But
Yeah.
but Bruce Wayne would have. And my number one was this one was really sad. I know a lot of people might not have seen it, but it was Pops from Luke Cage.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Again, why are you taking like the lovely old guy?
Yeah.
He's just living his life.
Just doing his thing, looking after his barbershop, just looking out for
So
Luke.
sad.
Yeah.
Do you know what? We almost should have known he was going to die because we loved him.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you could tell that he meant something to everyone in that community. And yeah, so yeah, for me, number
Yeah.
one, the saddest one for me was probably watching Pops die and Luke just like, stood over him, and then he's like, always forward. Forward always, forward always. All right, what are your ones?
Oh, okay. So I think I've forgotten a lot, even though I was trying really hard to like remember them.
Yeah,
But I think the ones maybe that I was shocked the most at
yeah.
was when Big died in
Oh, Six and City.
yes. So I know it was like the newer one, like
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just like that, or whatever it's called.
yeah,
But again, it really got me because he was a bit older.
yeah,
He
yeah,
was quite he was always on his treadmill. He was
yeah,
quite fucking fit.
yeah,
And then he has a fucking heart attack, like in the shower, and he's on his own. And then you're like, oh, I don't want that to happen to me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The
And
thing
so
is,
he
though, the thing is, Big was older, but he wasn't. He's one of those.
wasn't old though, was
Yeah,
he?
but he's one of those rich guy fits where they're not actually that fit.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there's a lot of obviously I work with some wealthy people, and I train them so and so, but their diet consists of a lot of high fat meat, high fat
Cigars and
foods. There's
yeah.
a lot of
Lots
cigars,
of restaurant food.
lots of restaurant food, lots of wine.
Lots of stuff cooked in butter to make it
Yeah,
taste nice.
so
Mm,
it's not impossible to see why a lot of them their arteries get clogged.
yeah, yeah. I thought that was sad because although he was a knob to her,
Yeah,
he did love her deep down. It
yeah,
was just a timing thing. And like he was just such an ever present
yeah.
that it was a real end of an era kind of
Yeah,
thing, you know?
end of era. Like he's obviously, I shouldn't admit this, but Sex and City I used to love that show. Um, Mostly because of Samantha. But
She
yeah,
is
but
great.
Big was there from the beginning, pretty much.
He was, yeah. So that's my number three.
Yeah.
My number two is a character from Riverdale.
Okay.
So again, Netflix, if you haven't watched it, high school place, like lots of shit goes down. Great,
Yeah.
great, really enjoyable. Um, but they had to kill the character off
Yeah.
because the actor died.
Oh, okay.
So again, it's really so sad because he was such a lovely character.
Yeah.
Again, always tried to do everything right, tried to raise his boy right, worked owned like a work yard and so did
Okay.
everything for his employees and stuff. And it was Luke Perry.
Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, we grew up with him and like
Yeah. Yeah.
90210 and
Yeah.
everything else that he was part of.
Yeah.
And again, just such a lovely character in the show. It was so fucking sad.
Oh,
Um, and because again, so
yeah.
they obviously said their reactions were so much
Stronger.
heightened and more
Yeah.
real because it had
Yeah.
happened.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, really sad. But my number one that we've already mentioned is Opie dying
Yeah.
in Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
literally, I honestly didn't think it would happen. I think
Yeah.
that's the worst thing is that I thought they would get out of it somehow, the situation they were in.
Yeah.
It's not that even that many seasons in,
Okay.
So it's a bit like Game of Thrones
Yeah. Yeah.
and how Sean Bean is
Yeah.
one of the biggest names mentioned throughout the whole series. There's
Yeah.
like 2.5 episodes.
Yeah. And then whack.
Literally
Gone.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
That's
so I guess his could be said,
yeah.
but because he's constantly kind of still,
Yeah.
in it, you loved him. They really did a good job of making you think, oh, that guy, really
Yeah.
stands for something and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, for me, the Opie's death was just
Yeah.
horrible.
There's something about this sort of newer generation of movies and TV shows where anyone can get it.
And
That
yeah, it
really shook
literally
up the
keep you
world.
guessing.
Yeah. Because give it 20 years, 15 years ago, that would never happen. That your main characters are there, no matter what happened, they could get
Yeah, they'd
shot.
always find a way. And
They could
now,
get
no.
shot 15 times in the face and still survive.
Yeah. And go, oh, that was
Yeah.
fine.
Come back out and they'd be like, they've been in hospital for like 2 weeks and they've just got plaster. But yeah, that definitely shook the system, when they started like, anyone can get it.
Yeah.
That became a thing.
I
And again,
think
that's the one thing with Bad Boys 4, where after Bad Boys 3, I was on that cusp where, they they went down that line, that road of like, you know, a main guy can get it.
Yeah.
And I went through this movie with like Bad Boys 4, after going back to that again because it was so great. I went through that thinking like anything could happen here.
Yeah.
Anything, something bad could
It
happen.
keeps you on the edge, doesn't it?
Something real bad could happen here. And I'm sure when I see it again, I'm probably gonna still feel the same way in between, even though I know what's gonna happen and what parts I'm gonna be looking forward to.
Mm.
But yeah, that, you know, that's a great screenshot you sent. But it
Bit
brought back,
different, right? I
yeah,
love that. I found it. I was like, oh, I've got to send that to Klynton. That's quite a good one.
yeah, brought back some sad memories, but fun memories because they were great programs that, you know,
Yeah,
those
and
were,
it meant you loved the character, so
yeah,
you're invested, you know?
yeah. You know, it made me it did make me think. And obviously to go back to even thinking about Smallville, that's probably the last time I watched Smallville. I was probably what,
Yeah. That's like 20
19,
years maybe for
19?
me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
20,
15
yeah.
years.
And same with like Sopranos. I think that ended. I think I was still in my teenage years when Sopranos ended.
Yeah. And
And
I
it's
don't think I watched that first time. That was a few years in, like a
yeah,
few seasons in when I started watching that.
yeah. So those are the old ones, and they still stuck with me. And then obviously, Luke Cage was what, 5, 6 years ago, but still,
Yeah.
that was just one scene where it's just like
Pops.
felt very close to home. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another episode. It's been great catching up with you, Debs. Looking forward to the next one.
Yep, yep, yep.
All right. I hope you have a lovely evening. Everyone, please drop in the comments your top 3 Keanu Reeves movies.
Mm.
If you've seen Bad Boys 4 already, you know, tell us what you thought about it. Don't spoil it for Debs because she hasn't seen it yet. But you know, when she has seen it, we'll definitely chat about it again because I can talk about it again. Um, remember to follow us on all socials. So we're on X, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. We're on, obviously, listen to us on Spotify, and you can watch the video on YouTube. And yeah, so again, thanks for everyone joining us. Hope you're enjoying the show, and we'll see you on the next one. So everyone be good, and if you can't be good, be the best at being bad. Bye-bye.
Bye.